Hello everyone and welcome to Farm Bureau's Voices of Agriculture. This week coming to you from the state of Mississippi. On the show this time, we have highlights of the Mississippi Farm Bureau annual meeting held in Jackson and the American Farm Bureau Convention held in Honolulu, Hawaii. We'll have interviews, award winners, and other highlights. Right after this, stay with us.
I'll never forget the pride that my dad took in the crops that he grew on our farm. He always said the work we do is important, that we feed Mississippi and the country. We can help people put healthy, safe, and affordable food on their table, and that's a reason to be proud. Americans spend only about 10% of their disposable income on food. In some countries, it's 50%. Mississippi farmers are proud to do our part to help families enjoy safe, healthy food at affordable prices.
The Farm Families of Mississippi.
Nearly 700 Farm Bureau members representing all of the state's 82 county farm bureaus took part in the three-day annual membership meeting, where in addition to election of officers and directors, the delegates adopted policy to guide the organization's efforts during 2012. Farm Bureau President Randy Knight reported in his annual address that Farm Bureau's #1 priority in 2011 of getting an eminent domain reform initiative passed was achieved.
This year we were finally able to get an eminent domain reform measure passed that will strengthen our private property law. Initiative 31 passed overwhelmingly because of you, our grassroots leadership. Your effort was strong, sustained, and tireless, and now everyone will benefit. On behalf of the citizens of our great state, I salute you and thank you. You have made a difference in our lives and have shown that watching from around the state, this nation, and the world, there is definitely strength in our numbers.
Knight said that weather played an important role in agriculture this past year. Floods, droughts, and tornadoes wreaked havoc across the state. Farm Bureau used its strength to help those affected by nature.
The Board of Directors of Mississippi Farm Bureau Foundation and Relief Fund approved collecting funds and assisting the flood victims who had uninsured ag losses. Contributions totaled over $100,000. Farm Bureau leaders across this state worked tirelessly to collect food, clothing, and other items for victims of the tornadoes and flooding. They were all very generously donated and also donated hay to the Texas farmers affected by the serious drought. Farm Bureau was able to persuade authorities to relax our hauling regulations for oversized loads so that 18-wheelers loaded for hay through Mississippi could go to Texas in large numbers.
While farmers are aware that agriculture touches everyone's lives, the general public must often be reminded of this important fact. In 2012, our Farm Families of Mississippi Ag Image campaign will gear up for its third consecutive year of taking the farmer's story to the consuming public.
Going statewide is very expensive, and we hope you will continue to support this very successful campaign. One way you can do so is by purchasing our new Farm Families Mississippi vehicle tag. I'm excited to announce that the women's program will conduct a contest designed to encourage people to purchase these tags. The first, second, and third place prizes will be awarded to the women's committees for selling the most tags. And if you haven't already agreed to do so, we encourage you to purchase a Farm Families tag.
President Knight said that the upcoming legislative session is going to be a real challenge for Farm Bureau because of all the new faces in the legislature.
We got a new governor, a new lieutenant governor, a new commissioner of agriculture, new speaker of the House, new committee of the House Ag Committee, the Senate Ag Committee. You know, I think probably this year our biggest thing will probably be defense. We'll be playing more defense than we'll be doing anything as far as any bills. I think major bills that are coming up. You know, I think all these newer guys are going to come into town wanting very energetic, wanting to get something passed and get their name out there, and we'll probably be playing more defense this year than anything. But, you know, we just got a big education process, I think, to educate these new freshman leaders coming on and of the importance of agriculture and how important agriculture is to this state.
The keynote address at this year's annual meeting was delivered by new Commissioner of Agriculture, Cindy Hyde-Smith. She congratulated Farm Bureau on the passage of the eminent domain reform initiative and emphasized the long-term benefits of its passage.
Friends, we have began a great movement. The ag vote has brought respect to a whole new level. It has totally amazed me the significant notch that has been carved into the measuring stick of politics. Everyone in this state has stood up and taken notice of how stout the Farm Bureau influence is. When we bond together, our strength is mighty. They say in the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. I assure you, the hands on the wheels of the pickup trucks in Mississippi rocked our opponent's world on November the 8th. I want to thank everyone in this room for their help in that eminent domain battle. During election years, you always hear about different groups of votes, different categories. The black vote, the white vote, the Baptist vote, the Pentecostal vote, the teacher vote, the female vote. Well, I want you to know now the ag vote has been categorized.
Environmental regulations are one of the largest hurdles that anyone in agriculture faces. And the most dramatic regulation in play right now is one that the EPA is imposing on the Chesapeake Bay watershed in the northeastern part of the United States. It's a model that the EPA plans to follow in other parts of the country.
What it amounts to is an EPA takeover of state power to decide how to regulate land use to achieve water quality standards. What that means is that EPA has imposed very stringent limits on nutrients and sediments within this very large watershed and said that the states have to do whatever it takes at all cost to achieve those limits by regulating all sources. And that means agriculture, that means homeowners, that means would-be homeowners who can't build because that would generate sediment. It means potentially taking agricultural lands out of production. And EPA has said that if that's what it takes, that's what will be done. It's directly affecting farmers in that region right now, and EPA has said explicitly that the next area that they have in mind is the Mississippi River watershed, which is 40-something% of the land mass of the United States. So, and it includes a significant chunk of Mississippi, as you know. So farmers in the Mississippi River watershed would be directly affected if this is allowed to go forward.
The 2012 Farm Bill is being negotiated and written now, and it's probably going to have some changes that haven't been in previous farm bills.
I think crop insurance is going to be a key part of what is in this farm bill, continue to be in this farm bill. Crop insurance, we're talking about public relations. One of the things that folks understand, I have to buy insurance for my car, I have to buy it, for my health. And so understanding that a farmer, has bought crop insurance, folks understand that. They also understand, and this also helps, in Congress, we got farmers putting their money on the table in order to buy insurance. Yes, the government assists in that process, but the flip side of it is the government and the farmer are sharing a risk there. It's not just, Mr. Farmer, here's a check. Mr. Farmer, here's a subsidy. It's, it's part of a well-managed, I'm managing the risks on my operation to best meet my needs. My neighbor down the road may do it a little different, but the bottom line is crop insurance is going to be a cornerstone, I believe, of this Farm Bill process.
We'll be back with more from the Mississippi Farm Bureau annual meeting right after these messages.
When was the last time you were responsible for feeding 155 people? If you're a Mississippi farmer, the answer is easy. It was yesterday. That's right. The technology used in farming today maximizes crop yields and protects the land for generations of farmers to come. There are lots of ways and lots of jobs that keep Americans safe, and I'm proud of the role that Farm Families of Mississippi has in providing a safe, affordable source of food and fiber for your family.
The Farm Families of Mississippi.
There were a number of awards presented at this year's annual meeting of the Mississippi Farm Bureau. The Excellence in Leadership Award went to Mr. Warren Oakley of Starkville. Mr. Oakley has been involved in agriculture all of his life. He was raised on a farm in Oktibbeha County, and he took over that farm after the death of his father. He was in the dairy business for more than 50 years until he retired in his 70s.
I took over the operation of this 1,000-acre farm at the age of 22. I'm an only child, and started running the farm. I was born in this house, in that front room. For all practical purposes, I've lived here all my life, except when I went to Mississippi State University and then went for World War II.
After the war, he concentrated on farming and became active in the Oktibbeha County Farm Bureau.
Joined the Farm Bureau in 1946, became, a member of Farm Bureau. And during that period of time, I was a charter member of the Ag Club. A bunch of farmers get together have a kind of a day, a meeting, a discussion, agricultural issues.
The Ag Ambassador Award this year went to WLBT's chief meteorologist, Barbie Bassett. She was recognized for her association with Farm Bureau's Ag Image campaign.
Well, I was asked to do that commercial, and in reading the actual script for the commercial first, I said, well, my parents are farmers. Why don't I put the part in there where I say, like my parents, in there? And the production crew said, that's a great idea.
And most are owned and run by Mississippi farm families, like my parents, not large corporations. Farmers are also good conservationists of Mississippi's natural resources.
Farm Bureau created the Friend of Agriculture Award to honor those individuals in the Mississippi legislature who have supported agriculture and rural citizens with their work in the legislature. This year there were 3 awards. The first recipient was Governor Phil Bryant of Brandon. Governor Bryant was chosen for his work as Lieutenant Governor in the Mississippi Senate. He has deep roots in Mississippi agriculture and understands the significance of Mississippi's #1 industry.
My agrarian background is I tell my children when they say, Dad, you're just a country boy, and when they hear me talk and remember certain things, I tell them that agrarian background sounds a little bit better than a country boy, but that's what we all were. But it helps me understand as a legislative leader and a leader in government just how important agribusiness still is for the state of Mississippi. If you look at Toyota, and we were talking about 1,000 jobs now, maybe 2,000 in the future. We have 70,000 people employed in our natural resources industries in Mississippi. That's 70 Toyotas. That's what people have got to understand. The business side of agribusiness is so important to us.
The second recipient of the Friend of Agriculture Award was Representative Frank Hamilton of Hurley. Representative Hamilton is retiring after 20 years in the legislature.
I have worked with the Farm Bureau for 20 years. I'm comfortable with what I did on the Ag Committee. Had a vested interest in it, being a farmer. It's been a job and a task that I took seriously and worked at it.
The third recipient of the Friend of Agriculture Award was Representative Ted Mayhall of DeSoto County. He was very supportive of Farm Bureau's efforts to strengthen private property rights by restricting the use of eminent domain.
They have no right to come in and take something away from someone that owns it. I don't care what they want to do with it. Now, roads, bridges, transmission lines, gas lines, I understand that. That's public use. But to take someone's property so someone can benefit financially is totally wrong, adamantly opposed to it. We've lost too many rights already in this country, and that's one that I'll fight for.
The Distinguished Service Award is the highest honor that Farm Bureau bestows on an individual. We reserve this honor for someone who has truly made a difference in the lives of Mississippi farmers. This year's recipient is retired Extension County Agent Steve Cummings from Yalobusha County. Cummings worked closely with the farmers in his county and also the County Farm Bureau to surface contestants for many Farm Bureau contests.
And I saw what Farm Bureau had to offer, what Farm Bureau was about. Saw quickly we had young farmers in our county that would qualify. I saw a way to promote them. I worked for Extension, and we didn't have any contests for like outstanding young farmers or things like that. So I took Farm Bureau as an avenue to develop them as leaders, showcase them, because I knew we had the best. We started out with our first contestant we entered was Brad Brooks, and Brad didn't make it out of the district the first year we entered him, but he realized when that guy won nationals, he didn't do too bad to lose to the best farmer in the nation. And so then we re-entered Brad, and he won, and it just sort of snowballed from there. So we have had 4 young farmer winners from our county with Brad Brooks and Kevin Kimsey and Coley Little Bailey and John Ingram. Then we went in and had 3 discussion contestant winners with Derek Surratt, Chris Wilkinson, and Daniel Martin. A couple of queens, and Kelly Burns and Jennifer Sarton. So we helped with all these, and we've been very successful.
There were also several competitions at the annual meeting. The discussion meet simulates a committee meeting where discussion and active participation is expected of each committee member. This year's winner was Clint Russell of Sunflower County. Russell represented Mississippi in the national competition in Hawaii.
But agriculture is not just that. Agriculture is a national security issue. If you can't feed your population, then you've got a problem. You've got a major problem. That's happened in many of countries where they run out of food and they can't feed their population.
In the Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award competition, Brad and Carla Spencer of Vardaman took home top honors. Brad and his father are partners in a sweet potato production and packing operation. He also grows produce, soybeans, peanuts, watermelons, and cattle.
We're up to 50 head now. So not bad for 11-year-old, 8-year-old, and a 33-year-old.
The Spencers were recognized for their farming innovations, leadership skills, and involvement in Farm Bureau and their community. They received a new pickup truck, the use of John Deere and Kubota tractors, and various cash awards. They also represented Mississippi in the National Young Farmer Competition in Honolulu, Hawaii this month. The Farm Bureau Ambassador Program identifies young leaders who can use their advantages to tell the farm story. This year's winner is Alan Smith of Picayune. The ambassador will make selected appearances on behalf of Agriculture and Farm Bureau. A $2,000 scholarship is awarded to a recipient attending any Mississippi four-year college or university or community college. We'll be right back with highlights from the American Farm Bureau Convention held in Honolulu, Hawaii, right after this timeout.
Every day, I count my blessings. Healthy kids, great friends, the time and the ability to enjoy my family and friends. It's easy to take things for granted because we live in such a wonderful state and country. And we don't have to worry about where our next meal will come from or if there will be a next meal. As a Mississippi farmer, I grow food to feed my family and yours. I'm one of the 42,000 farmers that make sure you have a safe, affordable, and abundant source of food.
The Farm Families of Mississippi.
From the Mississippi Farm Bureau annual meeting in Jackson, we now take you to the 93rd annual meeting of the American Farm Bureau Federation in Honolulu, Hawaii. Nearly 8,000 farmers and ranchers representing all 50 states and Puerto Rico gathered in this tropical paradise to establish policy for the nation's largest general farm organization. President Bob Stallman said in his annual address that in spite of the devastating effects of droughts, storms, and floods affecting farmers in this past year, U.S. agriculture is in good shape.
Net farm income and net cash income surpassed $100 billion for the first time in 2011. USDA's outlook for U.S. agriculture trade, released late last year, said that for 2012, agricultural exports are projected to be $137 billion, roughly the same as for 2011. That translates into 1.2 million American jobs. We sold $42.5 billion more in agricultural products than we imported in 2011. That number will stay strong into this year, and I'm convinced into the foreseeable future. And we're selling more of just about everything we raise, not just corn, soybeans, and wheat, but also dairy products, meats, fruits and vegetables, nuts, and horticultural products. American agriculture is making our nation stronger, one field, one greenhouse, and one livestock farm at a time.
He also said that while some regulations are necessary, many government regulators don't understand the impact of the rules they attempt to force on farmers.
But the regulations that impact our lives on the farm and ranch surround our every action, from tending our crops to managing our land. You know, if I were developing a reality TV show along the lines of Survivor, I'd have government regulators try to farm under the growing web of restrictions that farmers and ranchers face. And I'd have a farmer there as an MC just to keep them honest. And before long, they would find out they couldn't do half the things they thought they could and ought to be able to do. And when they discovered their decisions were not successful, it would be off to the paperwork penalty box. The winner, if one emerged, would be awarded a machinery bill, a margin call, and a mortgage.
Another hot topic of discussion here at the meeting was the writing of the 2012 Farm Bill. Mississippi Farm Bureau President Randy Knight says that having some assurance that farmers will be able to stay in business through the bad weather and price years, providing the public with a reliable food supply, is important.
To me, nothing could be any more important than the government be able to provide you some type of insurance or risk management program that would catch you on the years that you have a disaster. Disaster meaning whether or not you have a big drop in prices or whether it's weather related. To me, if we could use some of that direct payment money and offset the cost of risk management insurance to keep our premiums as low as we can, to offer that to the farmers to catch them on the bad years when they fall. To me, I think that would be great and something that would be very well accepted among our guys as well.
In talking with some of the farmers from Mississippi in attendance, their biggest concern about their own personal farm was unanimous.
Well, input costs are changing, going up. Production the last couple of years has been a little iffy for everything, but just weather concerns. We have higher priced fertilizer, seed, all of these things, and the commodity market that we don't know where it's going. It seems to be going backwards again, and we've enjoyed good prices the last couple of years, and so we think that's going to stick with us, but it doesn't.
Right now, it's just our input costs. I mean, we're just dealing with so many things that affect the dairy, from fuel, fertilizer, feed especially, that our inputs are extremely high. We're kind of volatile in the dairy industry as far as exports go. We are exporting about 15% of our product now, and should we lose a little of it, it could drastically reduce our prices going in like it did in '09. And so that's the big issue right now in the dairy industry is volatility of what we deal with.
State farm bureaus were recognized for excellence in implementing outstanding programs serving their members during 2011. Mississippi received 3 awards for excellence, one each in ag education and promotion, leadership development, and policy implementation.
I'm just excited to be a part of it. You know, I'm starting my second term, and I'm excited about Farm Bureau getting those awards. And you know, I think it says a whole lot for our state and our staff that we have at Farm Bureau. And, you know, and I'm excited about this coming year. You know, I feel like we're doing some things that'll going to increase our membership, and hopefully next year we'll be up on that stage getting even more awards and hopefully having quota. You know, I'm excited about that. You know, that's been one of my objectives when I got elected, was to try to build our membership and get us back. You know, we've been steady declining ever since Katrina. You know, I wanted to be the one to stop that and turn it the other way, and I feel like we're doing that, and I'm just excited about being a part of it.
Mississippi had 2 representatives in national competition this year. The first was Clint Russell of Sunflower County in the discussion meet. Clint made it all the way to the Sweet 16.
Competition here is definitely on a level above anything that I've ever seen. You know, the first couple of rounds, it was maybe not as tough, but once we made it into the Sweet 16, that's definitely the best of the best, and they do a great job. They're very polished individuals. They have agriculture at their heart and are passionate about it, and I think that's what gets all of us to that point, is we're passionate about it and able to do a good job.
In the Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award competition, Brad and Carla Spencer from Vardaman made it all the way to the top 10.
Me and Mississippi's nominee is, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we're in Hawaii. Aloha. It's been one heck of an experience, and especially making the top 10. That's an honor in its own.
Congratulations to all our competitors. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Farm Bureau's Voices of Agriculture. We hope you've enjoyed the show and will be with us again next time. For all of us here at the Mississippi Farm Bureau, thanks for watching.